Alrighty, with 2.2 second half almost being here, practically just being about a week away, with it coming the new 5-star character Boohill, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering whether they should or should not summon. And so today I'm here with a video that's going to be going over his kit, reasons why he's really good, and then also going over reasons why you should summon, and reasons why you would skip. This video is tailored towards those people that are sort of torn in between, whether they maybe want to but don't know for sure. So again, just people that are in between. If you're already set on summoning or skipping, you don't have to shove it in my face in the comments. I do not care. As I just mentioned, it's for people that are stuck in between. So if you're already dedicated to choosing your option, this video isn't for you. And yeah, like usual, that's all I gotta say before I get to the video. Drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for more videos like this. Let's get straight into the video. So first, to help people that might not be aware of what he does or what his kit is, let's start off talking about his kit. So Boohill is a character that follows the path of Hunt and is a physical typing. His basic attack deals physical damage equal to 100% of Boohill's attack to a single target enemy. His skill forces Boohill and a single target enemy into standoff state. Boohill's basic attack gets enhanced and he cannot use a skill lasting for 2 turns. This duration reduces by 1 at the start of Boohill's every turn. The enemy in the standoff state becomes taunted. When this enemy target / Boohill gets attacked by the other party in standoff, the damage they receive increases by 30% / 15%. After this target is defeated or becomes weakness broken, Boohill gains 1 stack of Pocket Trickshot, then dispels the standoff. The skill cannot regenerate energy. After using the skill, the current turn does not end. So as it says, when you do use the skill, you will choose someone to lock into the standoff state, pretty much just locking them into a duel, where that enemy can only attack you, and Boohill can only attack that enemy. In the standoff, both sides do indeed take increased damage, and as it does say, his basic attack does indeed become enhanced. Now for his enhanced basic attack, called Fanning the Hammer, what it does is deals physical damage equal to 220% of Boohill's attack to a single target enemy. The enhanced basic attack cannot recover skill points and can only target the enemy that is in standoff. His ultimate applies physical weakness to a single target enemy lasting for 2 turns. Deals physical damage equal to 400% of Boohill's attack to the target and delays their action by 40%. His talent: each stack of Pocket Trickshot increases the basic attack's toughness reduction by 50%, stacking up to 3 times. If the target is weakness broken while the enhanced basic attack is being used, based on the number of Pocket Trickshot stacks, deals break damage to this target equal to 70% / 120% / 170% of Boohill's physical break damage. The max toughness taken into account for this damage cannot exceed 16 times the base toughness reduction of the basic attack Skull Crush Spurs. After winning the battle, Boohill can retain Pocket Trickshot for the next battle. So pretty much the Pocket Trickshot that we did learn about earlier, the more stacks you have going up to 3, the stronger everything becomes. He gets more toughness reduction, and when they are weakness broken, when the enhanced basic attack does its big damage, the break damage increases by 50% also for the break damage. So 50% increase in toughness reduction per stack, same with the break damage dealt. His technique: after the technique is used, when casting the skill for the first time in the next battle, applies the same physical weakness to the target as the one induced by the ultimate, lasting for 2 turns. So just like it says, the ultimate physical weakness implant that it does have, when you do use the technique and go into battle, using the skill on the first enemy you do target, you get the same sort of effect there, applying the physical weakness. For the bonus abilities, first one, when in the standoff state and gaining Pocket Trickshot, regenerates 10 energy. Can also trigger this effect when gaining Pocket Trickshot stacks that exceed the max. Second one, when Boohill is in the standoff, reduces damage he receives from targets that are not in the standoff by 30%. And his insane third one, increases this character's crit rate / crit damage by an amount equal to 10% / 50% of break effect, up to a maximum increase of 30% / 150%. So yes, it also does award you for building him with break effect. More break effect that you have also does directly increase his crit rate and crit damage, giving him up to 30% crit rate and 150% crit damage, which is absolutely wild. For his Eidolons, first one, when the battle starts, obtains 1 stack of Pocket Trickshot. When Boohill deals damage, ignores 16% of the enemy target defense. Second one, when in standoff and gaining Pocket Trickshot, recovers 1 skill point, and increases break effect by 30% lasting for 2 turns. Can also trigger this effect when gaining Pocket Trickshot stacks that exceed the max limit, but cannot trigger repeatedly within 1 turn. Fourth one, when the enemy target in the standoff is attacked by Boohill, the damage they receive additionally increases by 12%. When Boohill is attacked by the enemy target in standoff, the effect of him receiving increased damage is offset by 12%. And for his final Eidolon, when triggering the talent's break damage, additionally deals break damage to the target equal to 40% of the original damage multiplier, and additionally deals break damage to adjacent targets equal to 70% of the original damage multiplier. So as we do see from his kit, he is a heavy single target. If you have a B6, he becomes AoE. So now sort of talking about what makes him really good. So from reading his kit, you can tell he is a character that wants to break the enemy. He deals a lot of break effect damage, or I should just say break damage. And the whole goal is to practically just break the enemy so you can actually do the most amount of damage he can provide. Building him with a lot of break effect actually does let you get crit rate and crit damage via his own kit alone. So just with something like a high break effect build with a crit rate body, you can have very consistent break damage because he has a ton of ways to shred the weakness bar. And with the break effect you have, it makes it even easier. And now you have a good amount of crit rate and a pretty high amount of crit damage. So the damage you can actually deal with this guy is absolutely through the roof. With a proper setup, his damage can go all the way up to the millions. Relatively easily at that as well. Not only that, but he's also able to implant his own typing weakness. So anyone that isn't weak to physical, he can apply it with the ultimate or if you use the technique. And then you can shred that enemy within those 2 turns easily. So with the actual fan the hammer hits, they don't do that much damage. They can probably do like 40-50k. But when you do weakness break the enemy, and he gets to do his big attack that he does against those weakness broken enemies, that's when his damage can go from 50k all the way up to 1 point something million. The whole idea of using Buhil is you want to break the enemies so he can get the most damage output as possible. And he himself is very easily capable of shredding through their bars. His kit provides himself a lot of break effect of how you want to be building him. With that comes in a crit rate and crit damage. So his self-supply damage is already really high. He's able to implant his own weakness typing onto the enemy, helping it to be easier to break them. He has Pocket Trick Shot, which increases his damage against broken enemies, and also increases the absolute living hell out of his own toughness reduction, giving him up to 150% toughness reduction, and also giving him up to 170% of his physical break damage. So he has a ton of ways to deal a bunch of damage on his own, and a bunch of ways to shred through the enemy's weakness bar on his own. And now, finally talking about whether you, the viewer, should summon for Buhil. So the number one thing I would consider is look at your account and see your DPSs and your current account needs. If you're already someone that has a bunch of DPSs but doesn't really have a sustain or another Harmony support at that, it might be a little weird if you go for Buhil over that, unless you do really like him. So I would look at your account and see if you are in need of another DPS. And if you are, check that box. The next thing you want to make sure is, do you have his own team capabilities? While yes, he's really good on his own, you're still going to want teammates that enable the absolute living hell out of him more than he's already really good with his kit with. So you want to look at your box and see if you have characters like, especially Ruan Mei, because Ruan Mei is his best partner easily. Do you have characters like Bronya? Do you have the Harmony Trailblazer built? And if you do, then you already have a team set up for him. You also need to consider your willingness to build them, because let's say you don't have Ruan Mei, but Harmony Trailblazer is free. While Harmony Trailblazer isn't the best partner for Buhil, they are still really good together. So you'd be considering if you already have built these characters such as Bronya, Harmony Trailblazer, Ruan Mei, and a sustain for that team. And if you had them built or you're willing to build them for Buhil while you do build Buhil, then that's another plus you should have. So those are 2 of the biggest reasons. Again, if you are in need of another DPS over something like a sustain, because sustains are very important, or a Harmony support, which is less on the priority, but you'd still want to have some. So if you have those but you don't really have another DPS, and you're interested in the break effect style that Buhil provides, then that's a big plus. And then the second thing you want to consider is if you have his teammates, or are you willing to build the teammates. If you have them and they're built, there you go, you're already good to go. And if you don't and you're willing to build them, then that's another thing. You can get Buhil and then you can work on that team. Now, for talking about people who might not want to summon for him, it's practically the opposites of the reasons of why you want to summon. If you look at your account and you already have enough DPSs, and you might not have a sustain or you might not have another Harmony support, then since your DPS slots are already covered, you definitely want to focus on getting a sustain or a Harmony support. So again, if you already have the DPSs on your team, let's say you have one team might be something like Acheron or Danheng, and your second team might be someone like Jinglu or Follow-Up Team and such like that, so you already have the DPSs set for that team, then you don't really need to have another one for another team. And then the other reason would be if you do not have his best teammates, such as let's say you don't have Ruan Mei, you might not have Bronya at all, and if you do, you're not willing to build her. Harmony Trailblazer is free, so you definitely have them, but you're not willing to build them. Pretty much the reason is being you don't have the teammates, or you were not willing to build them. And then the third reason is mainly if you're just not interested in the style of his play, because you do gotta remember, while he is a break effect character, he is also a heavy single target based character. He is very easily able to delete the people you choose to target, but again, at heart, he is a single target DPS. And a lot of people that play this game for some reason are allergic to single target DPSs, so if you're one of those people, then you might not want to go for Buhil. So yeah, that is practically it. Thankfully for the decision for DPS characters are pretty easy to make. So overall, it's very cut and clear reasonings on why you should or should not summon. Me personally, I'm definitely going to be summoning for him easily. He's going to be probably one of the most fun characters I've used in this game, so I'm super excited. But anyway, hope you guys found the video helpful. Let me know if you did, and peace out.